A heartbroken widow has shared the tragic final text she received off her husband shortly before he died during Storm Ophelia. Pamela Goss said she just knew something awful had happened when husband Fintan left work during the worst storm to hit Ireland in more than 50 years. He texted me at 14 minutes past 2 and said, "Leaving now, be home in 15, she said. It was exactly 15 minutes later and I was so on edge. Fintan had let his wife know when he was leaving work at the Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Group in Dundalk, Louth, on October 16. But she didn't hear from him, but not wanting to ring him case he was driving, she instead waited and then noticed on Facebook that a tree had fallen blocking the route to their hometown. I sat down and I had this sick feeling and I just knew, she told the Irish Mirror. Then I rang him and his phone was off. It is never off. It always goes to the message minder or else he'd have it on silent for work and it wouldn't answer, so I just knew. Fintan was just 5 minutes from his home in Ravensdale when a tree fell on the back of his car, killing him. However, he could not be officially declared dead until a doctor could safely access his vehicle. The tree had to be cut away, but the family knew he had died before Gardaí were in a position to formally tell them. Pamela added, "I was getting text messages of condolences before I had even heard officially." The previous evening the couple received a text to say their 3-year-old daughter Lara's play school was closed due to the storm. Pamela recalled, "I said to him, 'Is there any way that you won't have to go to work tomorrow?' He said, 'I haven't heard anything yet.' He was checking the phone but he said, 'No, I haven't heard anything, so I assume I go in.'" She said she was asleep when Fintan left for work the next morning and believes he would be alive if he had been told to stay away from work. She called for clear guidelines to be brought in so the next time there is a status red weather alert workers know to remain at home. She has written to Oireachtas members saying a set of binding rules would remove the confusion for employers about whether staff need to come into work, or go home from work, during the height of the storm. She added, "The reason I wrote this letter to the TDs in Louth to bring up with the powers that be is to ensure there is no ambiguity and no hierarchy of people. I mean, there was a blanket closure on all of the schools, so that meant that from the caretaker to the principal nobody was in danger and nobody had to travel. But there was this utter confusion and ambiguity around staff and different levels of staff and who should go and who should not go. I think there should be a set of guidelines to be implemented automatically if there is a red warning status across the country, in private and public sectors, and only have the roads open for the paramedics, the fire services and whatever else that needs to be. Unlike them, other industries are not life and death, and that is what I would like to see, that everybody is treated the same." She said there should be no sitting around looking at your phone waiting to hear should I go, should I not. Pamela added, "If there is a red warning status that means stay at home." She has not spoken to the families of the other 2 people killed, Claire O'Neill and Michael Pike, but said, "I am frustrated that something like this could happen in Ireland in this day and age, and it is going to take 3 people to die to even get to a point where we should look at automatic implementation of X, Y and Z." The mother of 2 added, "Fintan should be the last person to die in such circumstances." The matter has been raised in the Dáil by Louth Fine Gael TD Peter Fitzpatrick. He said, "The Taoiseach confirmed to me a report will be carried out and submitted to Cabinet in January 2018 on the response to Storm Ophelia. One of the issues it will examine is how we can better define what public safety warnings mean. It is acknowledged there is a very clear mechanism in place for closing schools and public offices, but there was an element of confusion regarding what private sector businesses and self-employed persons should do. The Taoiseach acknowledged there is a shortcoming in this area from which we as a government intend to learn. Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Group have been asked if they wish to comment.